Hi everyone, so today I'm doing another little treat box and it opens like that and closes. Last one tucks underneath there, so it's a nice box. You can adjust all the measurements and I'll show you that at the end of the video. But by using the same technique we can create a card as well with an extra interest that you open it up and it's got a message inside. So it doesn't matter which way these go together, the last one just tucks underneath. Okay, so we're going to have a look at how we make these. Now I will show you how to adjust your sizes at the end, but what you need is a matching square die and a matching sized circular die. So if I put those on top, you can see that they're exactly the same. Now it just happens at the moment that this is a 7 centimetre square and a 7 centimetre circle. So I'll put those to one side. Right, we are going to be working at the moment on an 11 centimetre square. So there we have an 11 centimetre square and I've chosen 2 papers, and what I want to do is to cut this inner one a fraction off 2 sides. So if I place that onto there, I hope you can see that on 2 sides I've taken a smidgen off. Okay, one is going to fit inside the other. So what I want to do is to make sure that I know that this one is the inside one, and I'm going to just put a cross on it. It's not going to be seen. So 11 centimetres, and I'm going to score 2 centimetres all the way around. 2 centimetres is going to be the wall of my box. Two. So there is 2 centimetres all the way around, and I'm going to do exactly the same on here, same measurement. So I've now got 2 centimetres all round. So I'm going to take my bone folder and just make sure I've got nice crisp edges. That's one. The danger is if you don't mark them, that when you get part way through you forget which one was the base, the inside one, and then it's very difficult because they're so similar. It's difficult to find out which is which, so do mark them. Right, we're going to take this one, which is the outside, and we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut up the crease and then take a little smidgen out there. So cut up the crease, smidgen. The tiny piece you take off will just make it a little bit easier making up the box. So there we have that, and we can do exactly the same with this piece. I hope you've enjoyed all the boxes. They're beautiful treats for Easter, and they will go anywhere all year round, especially coming back towards Christmas. So here is my base one, and this one I want to fold so that the pattern is inside, because this will line the box. So I'm using wet glue, and the wet glue is going, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. The wet glue is going on the corners. Excuse me. Right, okay, so these are going on the outside, and I've got some of my trusty clips which are just going to hold it all in place. So make sure you've got nice neat corners, and the wet glue goes off very, very quickly, so we'll be able to use these clips again as we go through. So that is the inside lining of my box. Right, now we're going to look at this one, and on this one, this is the outside with the butterflies on it, so our flaps need to go on the inside. Okay, so if we go back here, our flaps were on the outside so that we've got a neat inner. This one, the flaps are going inside, and they will be covered up. So we're now going to put our glue to these flaps, and they're going to fold inside. Line them up really neatly, make sure there's nothing sticking up just here, and clip. I like to get the clips as close to that corner as possible, and then I know that those are going to be held together really nicely. Right, there seems to be a clip missing. No, it isn't, I can see it. Try and get that right close to the edge. Make sure all your corners are really neat. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side, and I've also got my inner piece. Don't forget, you've still got your cross you can identify onto there. Now, I've chosen two colours that will go with my papers, and I've chosen one that particularly goes with the outside. I've chosen one that goes with the inside, but anything you have is acceptable. Right, these are 7 centimetres across. We're going to score them at 3.5. So as it's a circle, please do hold them nice and firmly on here. And while we're on there, we're going to do 3.5 and 5.5. So let's put that one back. Make sure it's lined up. 5.5, 3.5, 5.5. I will explain all of these measurements in a minute. 3.5, 5.5. So the 3.5 is halfway. Okay, and this 2 centimetre piece here is the same as the wall on here. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to just trim off that score line. So I've now got a half circle and a 2 centimetre wall. I'm sure you can find something to do with those. Right, okay, now I want to get my outside without the cross. And I need to take one of these, and it's going to fit inside. So I'm now going to fit it inside so that it matches exactly. And the best way to do it is to fold this back over the top, make sure it's clipped in, and put a clip. Right, so that was my greeny colour. I'm now going to go for my lilac, and you need to have the colours coming onto there. So this is the white side. Put your glue onto the coloured side, and on it goes, and press down firmly. We're not gluing under here. With that, you put that back while it's being glued. Right, so this was the lilac. I'm going to the green. I'm going to put glue on the coloured side, place it in the inside and fold it down, make sure it fits nicely, and I can recycle these onto there. The last one I've got here, so onto the coloured side. I'm going to take that, and our last one pops into there, folds over, make sure all of them are even, and I can use these now. That one's a little bit far over, so I'm just going to ease it into place. Right, so we've got what looks like a little table. So we're going to leave that for a few moments, and we're coming back to this. If you put glue onto these edges, when you press it down, the glue's going to pop up. Okay, so this should be ready. And before I put the glue on, I'm going to just do a dry run to check that this goes inside. So it's a little bit tight. We can ease that. I can see that there is just a little bit tight. Okay, so a little bit of glue on the bottom, a little bit of glue on the sides, and we're going to ease this carefully into place so there's no glue coming up the sides. And what I tend to do just for a few minutes is to place my clips back on so that any little bowing you have here is sorted. So one clip is going near each corner. So there we have the box. It's now all rigid, it's got 2 layers in it, and we need to put that to one side to just dry. So while we're doing that, we are going to go back to the piece that's going to go on the card to go with it. Okay, so this is preparing the card at the same time as our box is drying, and I have 4 7cm circles. I have a 7cm square with my greeting on, and I have a white card which is 6 inches square, can be anything, and I've cut myself a piece of matching paper to go on there. So I'm going to add a little bit of silver. I only want a fraction of an inch on it, and I'm going to slide that so I've got a very narrow border. So just going to cut carefully around. There we go. Get rid of the rubbish. And that's going to go onto my card. So I should have now a little white edge all the way round. There we go. And we're going to do our motif up here. So there is the piece on there, and put that to one side. Right, so I've now got my 4 squares. This time we only need to score 3.5, which is halfway. Okay, so 3.5, 3.5, and 3.5. So I'm going to fold them over and score and bone fold down there. So now it's relatively simple. What we're going to do is to fix one of these on this edge all the way round. So on the inside here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So my first one goes on, and I'm levelling up on there. So let's place that onto there. Then we want the next lilac-y one, and that's going to go opposite. Do be accurate with how you're lining these up on there. Right, now we're going to take the next one, which is the opposite colour, tuck that in and fold that over. It's a really quick and easy technique that gives you a beautiful finish at the end. Right, there we go. So that, there we go. So those are my 4 bits. We've got a tiny little hole in the middle, but you need a little bit of wiggle room. So we'll put that to one side to dry, and we'll go back to our box. Okay. So we're now going to fold in our flaps. sure they're folding nicely. And it doesn't matter which one goes first. We go 1, 2, 3 and 4, goes over and tucks underneath. There we go. So after it's been opened and closed a couple of times, it goes a lot easier. So there is our box. Okay. And our opening, fastening. Right, so 1, 2, 3, and tuck that in. There's our next one. So you can fill that with whatever you like. Let's go back to our card and take the clips off. And that is going to go on there. You obviously need to see where your writing is up the right way. So you are blooming lovely. And so we're going to fold, 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 and this last one tucks underneath. So there is our piece. Now I don't want this moving around while it's drying because I can't put clips onto here. So I'm going to take some double-sided tape and I'm going to put double-sided tape across the back there and hopefully get it in the right place. Yep, just check that the writing's up the right way. And I'm balancing across here and down here. Okay, so there is our card with the magic opening. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. There we go. So there's our card. Here is our box, all lined. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4 tucks underneath. Is that one? Here's another one that I've made with lots of different coloured spots, so I could do lots of colours on the top if I wanted to. Open it out and I've lined it with the same card. Okay, this was double-sided card, so it has colour inside as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4 tucks underneath. And this was another card that opens up. Thank you for being you. So go with 1, 2, 3, and 4 tucks underneath. Okay, so that is your challenge for this week, and I will show you in a minute how to do all your measurements. Okay, so we're going to learn how to make any size box with any size closure. So if we look at a sample that we did, we have a 7 centimetre square and a 7 centimetre circle. Okay, so what we want to do is to take a 7 centimetre circle, and then you need to work out how high you want your box. So we're going to use an example of 3 centimetres. So we're going 3 centimetres there, 3 centimetres there. So we've got a total of 13 centimetres. Okay, so we are going to cut this piece here 13 centimetres square, and our liner is going to be 13 centimetres minus a real tiny smidgen, about 2 millimetres, just a tiny bit. So that's for the liner. Okay, these circles are 7 centimetres, and if we score halfway through, we just need to take off 0.5 centimetre. So we've got a 3 centimetre wall, and we're going to just score and take off 0.5 centimetre off here. Okay. So what if we then change to here I've got, I think it was 10.5 centimetres. So we've got 10.5 meters, 10.5 centimetre circle, 10.5 centimetre square. So to get our measurements, we will have 10.5 centimetres. And what do we need? Any wall. Say we're only going to make a 2 centimetre wall. It would be 10.5 plus 2 this side and 2 this side. So 10, 11, 12, 13. Your piece of paper would be 14.5 centimetres square. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just see how the bigger box turns out. So I've collected together a few bits. So this is my 14.5 centimetre square, and I've cut my lining. If I line that up, a fraction of an inch shorter on 2 sides. So we'll put that to one side. I've cut my 10.5 centimetre square 10.5 centimetre circles. Now I can't score 5.25, so I'm just going to fold my circles in half. Okay, you should be able to work with whatever sizes you've got, and you'll see here that I used some scraps, so I'm going to fold that so that that will be the bit I cut off. And this one, I've got a couple of pieces out of that. So, there we go. Now, my wall was going to be 2 centimetres, so I need to make sure I chop off so that this is not going to interfere with the walls. There we go, so we can get rid of those. Now we're going to go for this one, and I'm going to mark it that this is the bottom. So I'm going to take that. We were doing 2 centimetre walls, so I'm going all the way round 2 centimetres, 2 centimetres. Same with the top, 2 centimetres, there we go. And I'm just going to take a break now where I get these ready for you to slip inside one another. Right, so now I have my outer box, my inner box is going to slot in there, and these are my circles. So on the outside of the pattern I'm going to put that, and because I've just done it roughly, right, I need to make sure that this settles nicely into there. So I'm going to put 2 clips on because it's a wider piece. Now I now need my matching one that's going to go opposite. So again on the outside piece, there is my glue. Slot it down so that I can see that I've got a tiny bit there that's sticking up, so that needs to come off. Yep. If you've got bits sticking up, cut them off because it will send the circle off at a different angle. Turn it round. Right, so this is the one. Slot that inside there. I'm managing with 8 clips and just moving them from piece to piece. And the last one here, clips in there. There we go. Make sure it settles into place. There we go. These clips are about 20 for £1, depending on what size you have. It doesn't really matter what size you use. I have a variety that suit any occasion. So there we go. Right, I'm going to risk taking these off quickly. Right. Don't forget we put the glue on the inside, not on the liner. So I'm now going to go along the outside edges, and that way we're not going to get glue coming up. So this should be a tight fit. So there we go. Put those down to there, and hopefully these are now dry. Fold those in, and we're going to go again 1, 2, 3, 4 pops underneath there. So you can see now we've got another box, and we started off, let's bring these in, which was a 10.5 centimetre square. That's our finished size, and a 10.5 centimetre circle, which we've used to make our 4 half circles. Okay. So have a go at looking what matching circle and square dies you have, and then see how you get on making up a box. If you want to take it further, then take your idea on to here, same size square, same size circles, and just slot them together. Have fun. God bless.